Well, people, so I've been going through my own little growth period, level up again. um, it's really amazing, honestly, I think, how much our childhood plays a role in our interactions throughout life. But mostly what really always amazes me is how much it affects our personal beliefs about ourselves. And something that kind of hit me today, because I have a lot of, trauma from my life, and definitely a lot of parental issues growing up, which, was one of the reasons why I initially went, once I did my psychology courses, and I realized that I was not regulating myself properly, which means I was not able to co-regulate for my kids when they needed me most, which is one of the biggest reasons why I went and sought help, right? It's one of the reasons why my abusers were able to make me believe it was all my fault, because I could see the places I needed to improve. Anyways, what made me I came to a realization today that is hard, I think, as we go through our awakening, as we go through our journey of leveling up and expanding our consciousness, becoming more connected to our energy that is our soul. I think we start to see, right, all the places where love doesn't exist. And we hear everyone complain that they want to feel love and they don't feel loved. And I really see it as a mom with my kids when they interact with certain people, who makes them feel loved and safe and who doesn't. And it's not anyone's fault. Like, the people who don't make my kids feel loved and safe, it's not their fault. That's the strange part, is that you can't actually blame. Most of them are not doing it intentionally. They're interacting the way that they were interacted with as kids, or they're interacting in the way they were taught you're supposed to interact with kids. And I always struggled with, that innate belief that everyone is fundamentally selfish, because people are so self-absorbed, and they always make choices, even in the home, that is lazy in my view. I always see them as like lazy decisions. Like, how can I get what I want the fastest by doing the least? And I think to a point that is natural, but it's also something that gets fostered by watching your parents. The amount of times I can remember getting in trouble from my ex for being on my phone or hiding in a video game or reading a book and not being productive, not doing something with the kids, is endless. But also the amount of times that he yelled at the kids for not doing something and just sitting and was endless. But meanwhile, he wasn't doing anything any better than we were. So how often do we yell at our kids or yell at somebody else or get upset in our head even and don't even say it out loud? Well, why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? Why are you blah, blah, blah? But really, we're doing the same things. It's just that we justify it, right? How many times do you hear parents, well, they're kids. They're supposed to have more energy. They're not supposed to sit there. I'm old. What? What? Why do you get a pass and they don't? I mean, I don't get it. So anyways, that's my view on that. I'm actually watching my battery light to see if my alternator belt is fully broken. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna pop the hood. I think I might have broke it. Thankfully, I'm at a store. And I'm not totally useless when it comes to mechanics. I'm not great, but I'm not useless. So we'll see what I can do. But my alternator belt, it's really cold. I think it probably just cracked and broke. It's like minus 20 again today. Yeah. But anyways, this goes back to the whole, I'm gonna go back. Sorry, off track. I'm gonna go back. You cannot be loved by somebody any more than they can love themselves. Other people cannot love you or other people, even kids, more than they can love themselves. So when somebody can't interact with a child, especially an abused child who does not know what balanced, healthy emotional regulation looks like, because kids can't self-regulate till after, like, I think they're 8 or 9 before they have the ability cognitively to be able to self-regulate. But again, if that has never been something demonstrated to them, if they've never seen anyone do that, they're not going to know how to do it, even if they have the capacity to do it. So when you see grown-ups responding poorly to a child's inability to regulate their emotions, it's not the adult's fault necessarily. They probably don't even realize what they're doing is maladaptive behavior. They probably think that it's normal, because I think a lot of people do it. I know I did, which is why I went and sought help. Once I became aware of what I was doing and realized how harmful, because I could see I was harming my children. I just didn't understand why. Because I was always told, this is what you do, this is how you raise your kids, you dominate, control. Dude, that's not what you do with your kids. It's not healthy. But yet, that's Western society. And then we raise these kids to feel like they're not supported, and they don't feel loved. Because when you try to control a child through fear or dominance or manipulation, anything like that, it does not foster a sense of security or love. It just doesn't. I mean, in a way, knowing that there's rules that you have to follow that can't be broken offers security. So there are certain things like that, right? Like if you hurt somebody else, there's going to be a consequence. You're not allowed to hurt people. That's a rule in my house, right? Or if you fight endlessly and can't find a resolution, I'm just going to take all of it away. So everything we were fighting about is now over. It's gone until you figure out a resolution. That's with my older kids. Obviously, I'll help the younger one find a resolution. But my older ones are at a point now where I feel like they can find resolutions. I've worked with them enough with that. So yes, certain things do offer security that way, consequences, right, for actions. And consistent consequences for actions, not crazy. Like 1 minute I'm yelling at you because you did it, the next minute I'm like, it's okay. Which sometimes happens a lot in houses where people are drinking or partying or are not really focused on their children but themselves all the time. That can happen a lot. Again, not a judgment. I don't really think it's anyone's fault. We kind of do what we're taught to do growing up. We mirror the people around us, and most of us aren't shown that there's a better way. We're really not. Okay, I have a really bad habit of starting videos with my headphones still on, and then when the Bluetooth stops, my video sound cuts right out. So I need to, I need to start back where that sound cut off, which was that most of us don't know. Yeah, most of us don't know when we're behaving in a maladaptive way, and we aren't shown, right? And unless we reach an extreme low, like a breaking point in our life where we can't take it anymore and it has to change, we don't often seek a better way. And, sometimes we get distracted. We get pulled into religions or other systems that keep us busy. Our ego keeps us occupied for a while, when meanwhile, the answers are all within us and we're distracted and not going within ourselves to find them. Isn't that ironic? Do you know what's crazy too? And I just want to throw this in here before I end the video, is that not only can people not love other people more than they love themselves, even their kids, you will also find that as you go through your spiritual journey and you go through your awakening, almost every answer to every hiccup you come across, in your road, in your journey of self-discovery, all comes back to you not going within and finding the answers within. Isn't that kind of like a kick in the ass? Especially seeing as how many of us seek answers and validation on the outside, right? Joining manifestation groups and seeking coaches. And don't get me wrong, they help. We need those things. I would not be here where I am today without videos, my therapist and coaches. I have been lucky. I didn't have to pay for a coach, but I watched their videos. But it's the truth. So the summary of my video is that I want people to understand that if you reach a level of love and compassion that allows you to see where other people are missing it in their lives, unfortunately, there's not much you can do about it until the person's willing, wanting, ready to make a change in their life or seek a different answer. All you can do is love them for where they are, and if you need space, take space, and just do your best not to judge. Because we're all just doing our best, I think. Just my idea. But I love you guys. And just remember, the answers are always within. But yeah, we can only love as much as we love ourselves. So that's where you gotta start. True story. Bye, guys.